Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today is the introduction of my Skyline. It's behind me here. I've actually owned it for 4 years. It's been sitting for the last 2 years in storage. I am slowly getting around to accumulating parts to modify it, to maintain it, you know, all the various aspects of owning a almost 30-year-old vehicle. Introducing it on the channel to basically document the process of me modifying it and also maintaining it and all those kinds of things. Let's do a quick once around the car. I'll go over all the things that are done to it, which is actually not a whole lot. It's a fairly stock vehicle. So I do know that the previous owner or owners in Japan have done a few things, you know, mainly some dodgy wiring stuff, but that's pretty standard for vehicles coming out of Japan. So there's a turbo timer in there that I'm going to remove. I'll make a video on that pretty soon, and then I'll be doing some maintenance videos. I picked up some new water hoses. I'm going to get a new radiator. The radiator actually looks pretty new in this car, but I'm just not knowing the history of it. I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway. Yeah, so anyway, let's just jump into it here. Alright, so this car is a 1992. And it is a Spark Silver KLO. It has been repainted. It was repainted just before it went to auction in Japan. I actually purchased this vehicle. It was purchased at an auction in the summer of 2016, and it was a grade 3.5 with an interior grade of a C because it was pretty dirty. Now, grade 3.5 back in those days probably would show up as a grade 4 now. This vehicle is in very good shape. The job that they did when they repainted it is actually not very good. You could tell that they did a quick rush job in order to clean it up to get them, you know, to maximize their profit off of it. But anyway, you can see all the way down the panels are very straight. So the quality of the paint job not being the greatest is not too much of a concern to me, because I plan on actually getting it repainted in a much higher quality fashion. But as you can see, all the panels are perfectly straight. There's a few paint chips here and there, a few scratches, but it's a bright day, so it's kind of hard to see with all the reflection and stuff like that from the sun. But anyways, you can see down the side, it's very straight, very clean. One of the things that was done before was I checked everything too, because the rear bumper, or let me open the trunk here, and I'll open the hood as well. But the owner in Japan, when they had it repainted, they actually filled in the Skyline lettering on the bumper, because all the other ones, you actually tell the bumper actually has this little indentation where it says Skyline. So they actually had that filled in and then put this stick-on Skyline. They also deleted the rear key cylinder in the trunk. So if that cable ever breaks going in the trunk, I'm screwed. Otherwise, I'll have to climb in through I'll have to remove the back seat and climb in through the back. But I was concerned about that, because what I did was I actually looked through. I thought maybe, you know, the car was rear-ended or something, and they, you know, had redone this bumper. Maybe it had been backed into or something like that. But I looked at all of the factory, you know, all the factory welds, or sorry, all the factory welds and everything look like they're still intact. So I don't know, it doesn't look like it's actually been hit anywhere. All of the seam sealer and everything looks factory. But anyway, so I guess maybe the person just decided they wanted to have something a little different, because you can look up in here, you can actually see, it's hard to tell, but right up in here you can see where they welded it in. Yeah, if you can see it up in there. Yeah, it's hard to see, it's too dark. But anyway, they welded it shut and then filled it all up. Like I said, this car was fairly standard when I bought it. It actually still has the factory boost restrictor pill in. So let's pop the hood here and take a look around. So as you can see, pretty standard in here. This obviously needs to get redone, but the paint's actually still pretty decent shape for the amount of kilometers that it has. This is an all original known kilometer vehicle. Has 165,000 kilometers, I think. Yeah, 165,370, about to turn 378. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is a all original known kilometer vehicle. There's no asterisk on the paperwork here. The boost restrictor pill is actually still in here. You can actually, if you pinch right here, you can actually feel it. That boost restrictor pill is still in there, so still on factory boost. It did not have a whole lot done to it. So it had the wheels, Advan RG2s in white. It had these Blitz pod filters, which were actually originally gold. I had them powder coated black because I thought it looked nicer. What else did it have? Oh, it had a short shifter. I don't know the make of the short shifter, but it had a short shifter installed as well. And it had these Defi gauges. It had the water temperature and the boost. Not a whole lot. It had this really terrible radio that I've now switched out. It also had some really terrible 90s terrific Razor pedals that I've replaced as well with just the factory standard pedals again. As you can see, there is no dash bubble, so either the dash was replaced at one point or it was very well taken care of. Yeah, let's see what else. So that was pretty much it. It didn't have a whole lot done. Oh, the other thing it did have was it had a it had an HKS silent high power exhaust. Still has the factory catalytic converter. Still has a factory downpipe. Pretty much everything else is standard. The person that I had import it for me, I had them do a little bit of modifications to it as well. I had a twin plate clutch installed from OS Geiken. So it has an OS Geiken twin plate. I also had them swap out the front Brembos from an R33. So it has R33 Brembos on the front. Still has the standard brakes in the rear. I do have the R33 Brembo rear brakes sitting in my garage, but I am actually not going to use those because I'm going to do a big brake kit on it. More to come for that. I actually have just sent those away to get refinished. The fronts will be 355 millimeters with AMG E55 8-pot Brembos, and the rears are going to be 350 millimeters. I think they're CTS-V 4-pot rear Brembos. So anyway, it's going to have massive brakes. I already have upgraded the brake master cylinder to a BM57. This came from an R33. I have Meister R Zeta CRD coilovers, and those are actually pretty good. I'm really happy with those. Let's see, interior wise, I did a little bit of cleanup in the interior. It's got Nismo mats, which I like. I redid the radio and all the speakers in here, ran new wires and everything, replaced all of the leather shift boot and handbrake boot. They call them gators over in Europe. Tome Duracon shifter, and just general cleanup in here. I got new rear quarters interior pieces. I haven't put them in yet though, but I got new ones because mine are peeling back here. I think everybody's are peeling. So I got new ones for those. I also have all of the standard, all of these window trim pieces that cost like an arm and a leg. I need to get those installed as well. Yeah, so anyway, a lot of different things that I'm going to be working on going this car. It has the standard steering wheel, which I love. It's such a great feeling steering wheel. This one's actually in really good shape too. These steering wheels are they're so expensive. I think they're like $400 or $500 for a terrible shape one. A brand new, like, you know, new old stock is something like close to $1,000. It's really incredible the pricing on these things now. just a quick walk around. Oh, some of the other things that I've done, I forgot about that. This has a divided twin turbo pipe. So you can, it's hard to see right there, but you can actually see where it was cut open and then there was a new piece of aluminum welded in. So it's a divided twin turbo pipe. These hard pipes from HKS are on there. And what else? Not a whole lot else. I can't remember everything that I've done to it. It's been so long. The car's been sitting for so long. It has extremely dark tint. I hate it. Because if it's not a bright sunny day, you can't see anything out of this car. Front windows are not tinted. They're rolled down right now, but the front windows are not tinted. I will be changing out the wheels. The wheels are 18 by 9s plus 20. I love these Advans. I just want wider. You can see it sits pretty flush, but it's just inset just a little bit. Let's go in here and take a look at some of the parts that I've picked up. So I've started picking up some parts in here. I have this is new fluid for the trans, a new filter for oil filter, new oil. This is, pretty sure this one is a front diff. And this one is, these two are, actually these might be the rear diff and this one might be the front diff. I need to pick up some more fluid for the transfer case, which I don't have currently on me. This is a box full of new fuel line clips. This is a new fuel filter. This is a Tark's oil block for the oil cooler that I will be doing. This is all new fuel hose. So I'll be running all new fuel hoses in here. This box from Terra Firma is full of pieces. This box has every single one of the coolant hoses. All the ones that are under the intake manifold, new upper and lower coolant hoses, new hoses that go to the heater core, full of all that stuff. Stainless steel braided brake lines. It already has some on the front, but the rears are still the standard factory ones. Those go for these Brembo brakes that I got here. These are a second pair. I actually picked up a second pair of CTSV rear Brembos, but these ones were actually pretty rough shape. I didn't like them, so I actually bought a second pair. And the second pair I already sent off to get redone. I got a Brake Master cylinder brace. This one is from Cusco. I'm actually going to go and get this. This I got secondhand. I'm going to actually send this away to get it powder coated so it'll look a little bit cleaner and nicer. I got my GTR service manual printed out because I'm old school like that. In here, I don't know if I can actually get into it or not, but I won't mess with it. But in here is actually an RB26 front sump that I am going to send down to Stuart Leask to have his extension put on it. So that'll be good. In here actually has another pair. This is the rear Brembos that belong to the R33. Some Nismo goodies just showed up from Japan. I ordered these from Right Hand Drive Japan, RHD Japan. These are the rear lower A-arms from Nismo. Also in this box is a rear subframe reinforcement kit. It's actually not it's a KTS reinforcement for the rear. It's like 4 separate arms that all get bolted on together. So that is going to go on the rear. In here, this video is starting to get really long, but in here are front and rear Kansai service strut tower bars. So, all right. I think some of the first things I'm going to get to doing are look at some of the wiring, just to make sure they didn't bugger things up. Eventually this car will get a Haltech, and it will get new injectors and get everything done. I will probably start pulling the injectors out of this to get them cleaned up, the factory standard ones. you know, just going to keep the engine stock, I think, for a while, but I want to get the subframe bushings all redone. I want to get the diff bushings redone, all the suspension arms redone, new wheel bearings, new brakes. I want to basically get all that stuff cleaned up. Currently it's not registered, but I will get it registered soon. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to drive this again. Alright, so if you stuck with me this long, I know this has been a really long video. I'm sorry about how long it's actually turned out to be. But anyway, I wanted to document the car, introduce it for the channel, and follow along for all the stuff that I do with it. See you in the next one.